Warm welcome to one and all for the third session presentation. Subject strength of materials. Code is 18CV32. Chapter name is bending and shear stresses in beams under module 4. The course outcomes is common for all the sessions in this chapter, that is to analyze and understand different internal forces and stresses induced due to representative loads on the structural elements. Now we solve some of the numerical problems related to the bending stress. Example 1. A simply supported beam of span 5 meter has a cross section of 150 millimeter into 250 millimeter. If the permissible stress is 10 Newton per millimeter square. Find the maximum intensity of uniform distributed load it can carry and also the maximum concentrated load P applied at 2 meter from one end of the support. Here for the two cases are there. First case is referring from the statement of the problem. So for the given beam section, we have to find the UDL as well as we have to find the concentrated load for the condition that the permissible stress in that beam section is 10 Newton per millimeter square. First case is for the uniform distributed load and the second case is the eccentric point loading. Here the referring from the statement of the problem, we can show the beam section in this diagrammatic fashion. The first diagram represents the longitudinal section for uniformly distributed load and the second diagram, the other diagram represents the simply supported beam subjected to eccentric point loading since it is acting at a distance of 2 meters from one support. So the cross section of the beam has been shown in the form of 150 millimeter breadth and the depth is shown as the 250 millimeters. Here the given data is the length of the beam is given as the 5 meter, nothing but 5000 millimeters, breadth is 150 millimeter, the depth is 250 millimeter and the intensity of stress is 10 Newton per millimeter square. So first thing we have to find the moment of inertia of this regular shape, rectangular shape. So as you know that from the engineering mechanics topic, the moment of inertia of a rectangular section is given by I about the neutral axis is given by BDQ by 12. After substituting the values for B and D, we will get that the moment of inertia, so 1953.125 into 10 to the power of 3. So I have not written the units, it is millimeter to the power 4. Next is we have to find the distance of the extreme fiber with respect to the neutral axis, and that is given by y maximum is equal to d by 2 is equal to 250 divided by 2 will get as the 125 millimeters. Next, moment of resistance is given by the I divided by y into fz. I by y is nothing but the section modulus, and after substituting the value for I as well as y maximum and the stress is given as 10 Newton per millimeter square, we will get that the moment as the 15625,000 Newton millimeters. Here for the first case, if W is the intensity of load in Newton per millimeter for simply supported beam, then the maximum bending moment occurs at the center of the beam. So here let W be the intensity of the UDL acting over the beam. For the beam section, the maximum bending moment occurs at the center, and that has been already studied in the chapter bending moment and shear force diagram for simply supported beam carrying UDL over its entire length, the maximum bending moment is given by W L square by 8. That value is given as maximum bending moment is given by W L square by 8, and after substituting the value we will get this one as this one. So here the previous equation, this is equation is called as equation number 1. I had not written here. This is equation number 1, and this is the maximum bending moment. This is the maximum bending moment due to the externally applied load, and this is the moment of resistance developed by the beam section. In order to maintain the equilibrium of the beam section, the resisting moment should be more than or equal to the applied moment. This is the applied moment due to the UDL. Then the equilibrium condition exists. Therefore, you have to equate these two equations so as to solve the value of UDL required so as to maintain the equilibrium. So first thing is equation 1 represents it is the moment, resisting moments developed by the material of the section, and the second one is the moment, the external moment due to the UDL. So for equilibrium condition, the resisting moment of the beam section should be greater than or equal to the applied moment. So after substituting the value, equating equation number 1 and 2, we get that the maximum UDL is 5000 Newton per millimeter. It is something wrong. It is meter. It is not meter. It is 5000 Newton per millimeters. The second case, case B, if P is the concentrated load as shown in the figure, then the maximum bending moment occurs under the load. Here, for the simply supported beam, the given condition is that the point load is acting at a distance of 2 meters from any one support. I taken 2 meters from the left support. Here, the moment at this point is equal to force into perpendicular distance. As per the reaction, we get that if you consider this one as A and this one as B, so reaction at A is equal to reaction at support at left support is equal to PB divided by L. Reaction at the right support is equal to PA divided by L. So this is A, this is B. So moment at the maximum moment occurs under this loading. The loading is at point a distance of 2 meters from the left support. So moment is nothing but force into perpendicular distance. Perpendicular distance is 2 meters. Force is equal to this much. We'll get that 3P divided by 5. It is this 2P divided by 5. Here the bending moment is equal to M is equal to PAB divided by L. We'll get that 3P divided by 5 is the reaction components, multiplied by 2 is the perpendicular distance. We will get 1.20 Newton meter. Again, this is the applied moment, whereas the equation 1 is the developed the resisting moments by the material of the beam section. So when both are equal, the equilibrium condition exists. From that one, we get the value of P is equal to 13,020 is the newtons, or in terms of the applied load will be P is equal to 13.02 kilonewton. The second problem, a timber of rectangular cross section is to support a load of 20 kilonewton uniformly distributed load over a span of 3.6 meters. If the depth of the section is to be twice the breadth and the stress in the timber is not to exceed 7 Newton per millimeter square, find the dimension of the cross section. This is the statement of the problem. It is a timber of rectangular cross section is to support a load of 20 kilonewton uniformly distributed load over a span of 3.6 meters. So if the depth of the section is to be twice the breadth and the stress in the timber is not to exceed 7 Newton per millimeter square, we have to find the cross-sectional dimensions of the beam. Here the given data are total load due to UDL is equal to WL. Capital W is nothing but W is 20 kilonewton over length of 3.6 meters. The maximum stress induced is F is equal to 7 Newton per millimeter square. Let the small b be the breadth of the section and small d be the depth of the section. That will be equal to the twice the breadth. That is, as per the given condition, we can say that depth is equal to twice the breadth. And also the y maximum is nothing but distance of the farthest fiber from the neutral axis is d by 2. D is nothing but equal to twice the breadth. We will get that the y maximum is equal to b. So for the first case, when the beam is to support an uniformly distributed load. Here in the first case, when the beam is to support an UDL W. So W is equal to 20 km for length of 3.6 meter. This is the UDL acting over the beam. So now the reactions are WL by 2 to WL by 2 and the length of the beam is equal to 3.6 meters. So for the first case, we know that the maximum bending moment occurs at the center of the beam and is given by the equation the WL square by 8. After substituting the UDL, the length as well as we will get that the bending moment is 90 kilonewton meter and the moment of resistance is given by the equation. So we will get that the F into Z. So the Z is equal to the I divided by Y maximum. So I is equal to BdQ by 12. After substituting the BdQ by 12, so it is BdQ by 12 is the moment of inertia and D by 2 is the Y maximum and 7 is the intensity of stress. We get finally 28 BQ divided by 6. This is called as equation number 2. This is the moment of resistance developed by the beam section. This is the moment due to the applied UDL. So for equilibrium to exist, the resisting moments are the moment in the material of the beam section will be greater than or equal to the applied moment, then the equilibrium condition exists. Therefore, equating equation number 1 to equation number 2, so substitute the values and we get that B is equal to 124.47 millimeter. Say here the side, safer side, say you can say that 130 mm or 125 mm. So I taken as 125 mm. So and therefore the depth will be the twice the breadth. Therefore the D will be the 250 mm for the first case when the beam has to support an uniformly distributed load. And for the same condition, when the beam has to support a point load at its center. Point load at the center. When the beam is to support a concentrated load at the center. So from this condition, again this diagram is symmetrical about the vertical axis. So here at the center W is acting. So here no need of finding the reaction components. Directly you apply the principle of axis of symmetry. So whatever the total load will be equally shared by both the supports. Here the total downward load is capital W and the supports are left and right supports. It is symmetrical about the vertical axis. Both are equally shared by the supports. Nothing but W by 2 left side, W by 2 right side. And also the moment at this point will be given as the force into perpendicular distance. Force is W by 2 multiplied by the length is equal to 1.8 meter with the moment at this point, or you can say that as per the formulas already we have derived in the shear force and bending moment diagram, the maximum bending moment will be the WL by 4 and is exactly under the loading condition. Load at which point it is acting is WL by 4. So that is given as after substituting the value for the W as well as 4, we will get that 18 kilonewton meter. Again, this is the load, this is the moment, the applied moment due to the point load acting on the beam. So in order to exist the equilibrium condition, the resisting moment should be more than the applied moment. That is, equating equation number 1 and 3, we get that the B is equal to 156.80 millimeter. So we can say that for the safer side, we keep the higher dimension b is equal to 160 millimeter, so that the depth will be equal to the twice the breadth. Therefore, d is equal to 320 millimeter. The example 3. Here, the statement of the problem: a simply supported beam cross section shown in figure is subjected to a bending moment of 5 kilonewton meter at its neutral axis. Find the maximum stress induced in the beam. So here, this is the cross section. This is the cross section of the I section. So here the bending moment acting about the neutral axis is 5 kilonewton meter. M value is given. So we have to find the induced stress in the extreme fiber. This is the extreme fiber with respect to neutral axis, and this is the also the extreme fiber. We have to find the bending stress at both the top and bottom fibers. So for that one, first we check whether the given section is symmetrical about any axis. It is symmetrical about only vertical axis. This diagram is not symmetrical about the horizontal axis. Therefore, you draw the axis of symmetry with respect to vertical axis, and the centroid will be lying on the vertical axis only. So we have to find the value of the centroidal distance of that the I section with respect to bottom or with respect to top from the first principle. So applying that the equation, the centroid y bar is given by the moment of all the areas divided by the total areas. So after applying the substituting all the values, so for as per the given dimensions, I got that the y bar is equal to 60.80 with respect to the bottom axis. With respect to the left bottom axis is 60.80, or with respect to the top layer, nothing but total dimensions minus this one will give the 79.20 is the YC value. It is compression zone. We are considering it as a simply supported beam. Above the neutral axis will be taken as compression zone. Below the neutral axis will be taken as the tensile zone. So now the next thing is that we have to find the moment of inertia of the I section applying the parallel axis theorem. So moment of inertia of the section about an axis passing through its centroid and parallel to the x-axis is given by Ixx equal to Ig plus Ah square is equal to, after substituting all the values, I get that the moment of inertia is 12.85 into 10 to the power of 6 millimeter to the power 4. Here Ig is nothing but moment of inertia of the individual rectangles about its centroid plus area and distance of the individual centroid from the neutral axis. H holds for distance of the individual centroids of the rectangular with respect to the neutral axis. After substituting all this one, I got that the moment of inertia about the neutral axis is 12.85 into 10 to the power of 6 millimeter to the power 4. Now we have to find the distance of both the extreme fibers. The distance of the extreme fiber from the centroid in the compression zone is YC is equal to, I got this one as the 79.2 mm, and in the tension zone, so YT is equal to 60.80 mm. So from the relation, the maximum stress FC is equal to M by E into Y maximum. In the Euler bending equation, M by E is equal to F by Y. So M is already given. We know the distance of the farthest layer, that is Y value, and also we know the moment of inertia of the I section, and now we have to find the maximum stress. Y maximum is equal to 30.08 Newton per millimeter square. After substituting all the values, M and I will remains constant for a given section. So M value will not change, I value will not change, because as per the assumptions made, the cross section will not change. The cross section is constant from one end to other end. Therefore, I got the value as the moment of inertia is constant, and also the applied moment is constant from one end to other. Applied moment is constant from one end to the other end. Only changing variable is y is only changing. So after substituting the values for all these, we got the maximum stress is 30.08 Newton per millimeter square and the minimum stress is 23.65 Newton per millimeter square. So once you draw the stress distribution diagram, after substituting the value for the stresses in the compression zone at top layer and the stresses in the bottom layer, the tension zone. So when you draw a linear straight line, so at one point the stress is 0, it is always about the neutral axis. About the neutral axis, the bending stress is 0. Moving away from the neutral axis, it is maximum in the extreme fibers. For example, the statement of the problem: two wooden planks 150 millimeter into 50 millimeter each are connected to form a T section as shown in the figure. Full point. If a moment of 3.40 kilonewton meter is applied around the horizontal neutral axis, including the tension below the neutral axis, find the stresses at the extreme fibers of the cross section. Also calculate the total tensile force on the cross section. Here, this is the given T section of the beams. So the dimensions, as per the dimensions, it has been written 150 mm top. This is 50 mm and again 150 mm into 50 mm web base. So the applied moment as per the given problem statement, the given data is m is equal to 3.40 kilonewton meter and we have to convert into 3.60 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton millimeter. Next thing, we have to locate the neutral axis. To locate the neutral axis, we have to find the centroid. And after finding the centroid, we have to draw a line passing to the centroid, that is the neutral axis. Before that one, we have to check whether the given section is symmetrical about any axis. So as per the given section, as per the given diagram, the section is symmetrical about the vertical axis. It is not symmetrical about the horizontal axis. Therefore, x bar is 0, y bar we have to find. Means the neutral axis is lying along the vertical symmetrical axis. So now y bar is equal to, so we substitute all the data and get that we got that value as 125 millimeter. So we have to substitute all the values. So the moment of all the individual areas divided by the algebraic sum of all the areas. Here the area into y with respect to, I taken this one as the reference axis. X axis is bottom reference axis. With respect to x axis, I found the value of the area into y, area of the individual sections. I divided the T section, here dotted line, the one rectangle, the two rectangles are there. From that one, from the first principle that already studied in the engineering mechanics, we got the value as 125 millimeters. So next thing, draw a line at a distance of 125 millimeter from the bottom x-axis, that is the centroid, and draw a fixed line, that is line is the neutral axis. So now we have to find the moment of inertia about an axis passing through its centroid and parallel to the x-axis axis by applying the principle Ix is equal to Ig plus A into h square. So applying this the equation, it has been found that the moment of inertia about the neutral axis is 53.125 into 10 to the power of 6 millimeter to the power 4. Now the distance of the upper extreme fiber from the neutral axis YC is given as the 75 mm. Total is 150 plus 50 mm. We got y bar is equal to 125 mm. Therefore, YC becomes So 200 minus 125 is equal to 75 mm, and distance of the lower extreme fiber from the neutral axis yt is equal to 125 millimeters. Therefore, y maximum is equal to yt is equal to 79.20. From the relation, the y maximum is equal to the called as FBT. You can say that F bending stress in the tension zone is equal to M by into Y maximum. After substituting the value, we got that 8 Newton per millimeter square. And similarly, if you want to find the minimum stress is equal to FBC. So the compressive bending stress M by is equal to YT is equal to 4.80 Newton per millimeter square. After the transferring the values in the form of diagrammatic representation, we can find the bending stress distribution diagram, and is the maximum in the tension zone and minimum in the compression zone. So now the second question, the second requirement as per the problem statement is that we have to find the tensile force on the cross section. This is the tension zone. This is the compression zone. It is the stress is linearly varying from 0 to 8 Newton per millimeter square. So as per the definition of stress is nothing but the resistance offered by the body due to the application of load. Nothing but it is the force per unit area. Therefore, force is equal to average tensile stress multiplied by that area. So average tensile stress is the 0 is at this point and is increasing gradually at the farthest bottommost layer 8 divided by 2. It is the average the stress intensity multiplied by area covered by that section. This is the area. This is the area covered by the tensile zone. It is 50 mm the width and the depth will be 125 mm. We got that the tensile force in the tension zone is 25,000 newtons or 25 kilonewtons. Next, the problem statement is a rolled steel joist of I section used as a simply supported beam has the following dimension. Flange is equal to 50 mm into 25 mm. Web is equal to 15 mm thick. Overall depth of the section is 150 millimeter. If the beam section carries an UDL of 50 kN per meter on a span of 4.0 meters, calculate the maximum stress induced due to bending. So here, by referring from the dimensions, we can draw the cross section of the beam section. Here, this after drawing the beam section, this is symmetrical about horizontal as well as vertical axis. Here, no need of finding the y bar or the with respect to bottommost layer or with respect to the topmost layer. Directly, we can apply the axis of symmetry, since the given I section is symmetrical about both the horizontal as well as vertical axis. If you draw the axis of symmetry, the intersection of this one will giving the centroid, and draw a fixed line passing to the centroid, that will give the neutral axis. So now the centroid has been located, and also the neutral axis of the given I section is located. Here the base width capital B is taken as 250. The total depth the D is 150 mm, and the depth of the breadth of web, here small b is taken as 250 minus 15 mm 235 mm, and depth is taken as 150 minus 2 times of the 25 mm is taken as 100 is comes to 100 mm. So for finding the moment of inertia, I considered this one as a hollow rectangular section. So I divided this the thickness of the web. It is totally given is the 15 mm. Half will be 7.5 this side, half will be 7.5, so that uniform thickness will come all around. I consider this one as a hollow. I transferred the values in the form of the hollow rectangular section, so that it is very easy to find the moment of inertia of the section. Otherwise, once again you have to apply the parallel axis theorem and find the moment of inertia. So the moment of inertia of the I section is given by considering it as a transforming it as a hollow rectangular section is BD cube by BD cube minus the lowercase BD cube divided by 12. I got this much value as the moment of inertia. And for simply supported beam, here the length of the beam is equal to 4 meter. The UDL acting is 50 kilonewton per meter. So this the maximum bending moment occurs under the load, and the equation is given by WL square by 8. After substituting the value, I got the maximum bending moment is 100 kilonewton meter. And again, the bending stress in the extreme fiber, that is the stress due to bending moment, is given by F maximum, and it is because it is symmetrical about horizontal as well as vertical axis. The tensile bending stress will be equal to the compressive bending stress, that is given by the equation M by I is equal to Y maximum. So after substituting the value for M as well as I, and Y is the variable and is maximum in the uppermost extreme fibers or bottommost extreme fiber, and M is constant for a given section, and also moment of inertia is also constant, because since the cross sectional dimension will not change from one end to the other end. So the maximum stress will be 147.84 Newton per millimeter square. So this is the stress distribution diagram. So this is the compression zone, this is the tensile zone. This has been joined by a linear straight line. So at one point it is crossing the zero, the axis, and nothing but it is along the neutral axis. The stresses are zero. Away from the neutral axis, it goes on, the stress goes on increasing and is maximum in the uppermost or bottommost layer. So next is the problem number 6. A circular log of timber has diameter D. Find the ratio of the breadth to the depth of a rectangular beam cut from a circular log of the strong edge section in bending. So here we have to find the ratio of breadth to depth for rectangular beam that can be cut from a circular log for the strongest section in the bending. So here consider the circular log as the diameter D. In that one we have to cut a rectangular section which is having strong edge section. Say that the breadth is the small b and the height is the small h. So let ABCD be the strongest rectangular section which can be cut from the cylindrical log. Let B be the width of the strong edge section and H is the depth of the strong edge section. So let the section modulus for the rectangular section, as per the definition of the section modulus, we know that it is the ratio of the moment of inertia of the rectangular section about the neutral axis to the moment of to the distance of the extreme fiber or farthest fiber from the neutral axis, that is given by BH cube by 12 and divided by the h by 2. Here B is the breadth, h is the depth of the beam, and therefore h by 2 is the y maximum value. We got that BH square divided by 6. This will be taken as equation number 1. Again, in equation number 1, in the above equation, B and H are variable. Here you can say that here B and H are variable. B is also variable and h is also variable. The triangle BCD, this in the right angle triangle BCD, b square plus h square is equal to d square. In the right angle triangle BCD, so b square plus h square, applying the Pythagoras theorem, b square plus h square is equal to, this is d square is the diameter is the diagonal. So from that one h square is equal to d square minus b square. Substituting the value of h square in equation number 1, so we get that z is equal to b d square minus b cube divided by 6. Whereas here only one d is constant and b is variable. So next, in equation number 2, the diameter of the log d is constant and b is only variable. So now the d is constant whereas b is the variable. So for the maximum value of z, for the maximum value of section modulus, b should be 0. So the breadth should come to 0, then it will be a solid circular section. When b is 0 means the section modulus should be more. That is nothing but it is a solid circular section. This means that the derivation of the section modulus with respect to b should be 0. So after differentiation, the partial differentiation of the section modulus with respect to the breadth and equating it to 0, we got that value d square minus 3b square divided by 6 is equal to 0. We got that d square is equal to 3b square. d square is equal to 3b square. Call this in equation as number 3. From the triangle, we know that BCD, again the d square is equal to b square plus h square. Substituting the value of d square in equation number 3, we get that. So b square plus h square is equal to 3b square. Nothing but we get that h square is equal to 2b square. So h by b, you get the height or depth or breadth is equal to 1.414, or the b by h ratio is equal to 0.707. It is the root 2. This is 1 divided by root 2, and this will be only root 2 value we got. The ratio of h by b is 1 divided by root 2, or the ratio of breadth to depth is only root 2. So the standard section will be having the ratio 1.414 breadth to height to breadth ratio, or it may be the 0.707 for breadth to depth ratio. Next example, find the dimension of the strongest rectangular section beam that can be cut from a log of 25 mm diameter. So here the value of the diameter is given. We have to find the strongest rectangular section that can be cut from the circular log. Here consider ABCD is the strongest rectangular section which has been symmetrically placed in the circular log of diameter small d. So from the triangle BCD, it is a rectangular triangle. We can say that so the d square is equal to b square plus h square. So b square plus h square is equal to d square. D square, d's value is given as 25 mm, and therefore h square is equal to 25 square minus b square. So from the relation, the Bernoulli-Euler equation, we know that m by e is equal to f by y is equal to e by r. Taking the first part, m is equal to f into I by y, I nothing but f into z. So I divided by y is the ratio of I to the y is taken as the section modulus, and the m will be maximum when z will be the maximum. So z is equal to the ratio of the moment of inertia about the neutral axis to the distance of the farthest fiber from the neutral axis, that is h by 2. So substituting the value for moment of inertia and y maximum bh cube by 12 and h by 2, we got that value is equal to b into bracket 25 square minus b square divided by 6. Again, for the maximum value of the section modulus, the breadth should be 0. Means there is no any hollow portion. If hollow portion is there, it is considered as a weak portion. When this is 0, when B is 0 means it is a solid circular section. So the partial differentiation of section modulus with respect to B will give the maximum value for the section modulus. After applying the partial differentiation, we got the value as B square is equal to 625 divided by 3. So after taking the root, we get that B is equal to 14.43 millimeter, and substituting the value of the B in this above equation, we get that in this equation we got that the D is equal to the 20.41 millimeters. Thus we got the value of the strongest the rectangular section that can be cut from a circular log, as breadth is 14.43 millimeters and depth is 20.41 millimeters. So this completes the numerical problems on the topic bending stresses. Thank you, one and all.